Hey, I'm live. I'm live. Look at that.
Look at that.
Who would have guessed?
Who would have guessed?
All right.
All right.
Just making sure.
Just making
sure.
sure. Oh, God.
Is it frozen?
Is it frozen?
Oh, good.
Oh, good. There we go.
We go back here.
This one still froze up. Huh?
Hey, folks, I'm Klaus.
Neat.
Neat.
See,
there we go.
I think.
Sit.
Boy, oh.
Glitchy as hell. That's what we love to see. Not dropping frames, everything else seems fine, but boy, oh boy.
Now, if I just go to just the cam. Oh, that's just frozen up too. It hates that there's two separate things for this. Okay.
Got rid of that. Is that going to help improve things? Nope. Still going to max headroom all over the place. That's cool. Maybe we'll just ditch the cam. It's proven to be a real piece of garbage. Yeah. Ideal. Cool. Great. Am I echoing in this too? Video? Oh, don't video capture me. I have a nice microphone right here. I do not need the webcam microphone capturing stuff too. Clearly the webcam is having a real problem. Yeah, you know, let's just leave it. F it. I don't know that having this. I don't know. Let's see how things work. Everything else seems good. I see my mouse moving around. Whatever. Just do one last click in and make sure the stream. All right. Well, that's life. That's what the stream looks like. Hi, Twin Steel, and hi, Shy. Yes, Echo is gone. It was trying to use the mic from the webcam as well, which interesting choice. I'm gonna just probably turn the webcam off because it's so glitchy. Maybe it doesn't like being open with DaVinci. Who knows? We're gonna just give up on it. So, what the heck? There we go. I'd rather have DaVinci running better than my cam, I guess. Camera. Why you gotta be like that, huh? Right. So, I know there are a few people who are watching this and are interested in learning how to edit in DaVinci. And I'll do my best to kind of explain things along the way. I've just, from the opening of DaVinci, just clicked create a new project, named it Mapamundi, because that's a game I'm going to be talking about in this video. And if you see things in my workplace, in my little space here, that you don't have on DaVinci, might I suggest you go into the workspace and start looking at the kind of things that are on in your workspace and that you can see. So like panels, I've got the media pool and the inspector and the effects because I like those being up. I will say this is different from my normal editing setup a bit. I usually have I have a like double wide, ultra wide monitor, and so the video editing thing takes up like the whole monitor. It's the whole reason I got the monitor. So, but I'm recording like this, all scrunched up. So, just gonna have to deal with it. Yeah. Also, for anyone who's jumping into DaVinci and you don't know why your thing doesn't look like this, make sure you're on edit. You can do stuff from cut. I don't use it. I don't really know that much about how, and I don't think that it would improve my workflow a whole ton if I did. Or maybe it would. I'm not a professional. First thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to drag in the video files that I want to be editing into my media pool over here. So you can't see the window. It's just a normal window with the video files, and I just drag in one. Change project frame rate. I'm going to change because this is what the video, video is going with. So we'll go with the frame rate of the video. And I record it in two little chunks. So I've got them both right up here. Yeah. How's everyone doing, by the way? Anyone just hanging out? So the video files get stored up here. Ah, thank you, Twin. I appreciate it. I tried some different lighting here. I don't know. The camera's white balance was being kind of weird with it, though, so I'm noticing it change as I scrub through. Well, Shy, clearly you're not working too hard if you're in here. Tee-hee-hee. But that's okay. I'm not working that hard either. So there are basically two little video windows. This first one that I have over here is called the inspector. And that's one of those things where if you go into the workspace and you go to whatever, one of these things. There we go. Show panel workspace. The inspector. And you can take a lot of these and like click them and drag them and move them around. I got stuff where I want and I don't want to mess with it. Getting out of work. Got to drive. Looking forward to seeing you come back. Yeah. Hey, yeah, I'm coming back as much as I can. I really am. Now that I've got my studio more set up and stuff, I really am trying to get more stuff out there. So, yeah. You can see that when I hover over a video in here, it shows up in the inspector. This is just like quickly scrubbing through it. I can double click so that way it'll kind of like stay on that video, and then I can manually kind of like drag through and stuff. Awesome. Have a good drive, Twin. But I want to get stuff on the timeline to work on it, because that's where I'm going to kind of cut and edit and add stuff. Now, I could do cuts from here. Like I could say, oh, I want to start the video that I'm going to put in from here, end it here with these two little buttons. They give you a start point and end point, and then I could drag it in there. But I don't want to do that. I want to drag in the whole thing. And so what I'm going to do that, video idea. I'm on a quest to collect every house rule on YouTube and beyond. I'd love to hear about any you use at your table. I don't use very many. I don't know. I play so many games that have just amazing rules that I don't have a lot of need for house rules, but I'll think on it. I'll think on it and see if anything comes to mind. So I know this is the first video in the order that I recorded, so I'm going to drag it in here. You can ignore the fact that there are 3 audio tracks. I had the video recording set like that for a whole different purpose, to record like one audio track that's just my mic, one that's whatever I'm recording. It's for a different setup, but once the audio loads, I will deal with that. And yeah, so especially when you drag in a really big, chunky video file like this, it's not going to show you the audio wavelengths right away. Just give it time. Takes time. You'll also see that it has now created a timeline here in the master. I don't have to do anything with this for simple video projects. If you get way more into video editing, you might end up doing stuff with more timelines. For a lot of my videos, I don't feel the need to. While that's loading, I'm also going to drag this in. That's just a little end section there. We'll give those a minute to fully load in, because one way, this is an improvised video, and so one way that I do my initial cutting and cut stuff down is I'm able to see where there are just big gaps where I'm saying nothing, and I can cut those out. So we'll go over how that works in a bit once everything loads. Oh, the other thing I always like to show, so when video files are here, so now this right window is the timeline. So just think inspector window is for looking at stuff in your little media pool, and the right window is for looking at stuff that's on the timeline. So I can like time stuff out there and see it. I'm also going to be able to work on effects there in a little while. You might run into, depending on how much you're recording and how many things you end up adding to the video, you know, effects, layers, stuff like that, it might kind of slow down. What you can do is go up to playback, and you're going to want to switch your render cache to smart. And you can also, timeline playback resolution. You can adjust your resolution. All this does is adjust the resolution for this window. It's not going to adjust the resolution for your final product, but I do some videos. I have so many layers that this really helps. This video, it might not be a big deal, but since I'm also streaming, I'm going to just have it. That'll take a little bit to process, but yeah. All right, now we can see all of these audio thingers have loaded in. You can see they're all duplicates. It's just the way I have it set up. So what I'm going to do is I can't just select and delete one of these because right now they are linked. Got a little link icon right there. So one thing I can do is right click and link clips. Nope, not linked anymore. Now I can take the ones that I want. Super interesting thing about DaVinci. For A, learn hotkeys. Don't edit without hotkeys. You're going to drive yourself nuts. But in DaVinci, if you hit delete, it's going to try and like drag and it tries to delete, or it tries to like basically everything that's right here when you delete, it's called a ripple delete, and it tries to pull everything to fill in the gap that you've made. If you want to delete something without filling in the gap, just hit backspace. Hi, Ty the Bard. Welcome to this chill little editing stream. We're going to do the same here. Unlink the clips. Select just the bottom two and backspace. And then we're going to relink these just because the last thing we want is for the video and audio to get out of sync as we're chopping this up into pieces. So I'm going to relink these. The video that I'm editing is about a game called Mappa Mundi. You can actually kind of see it in the background of the video right there. That's the box for it. It is a game that is Monster Hunter if you... It's Monster Hunter if you played the research team, essentially. And not to spoil this little video that I'm editing, but even though that sounds like a bizarre concept, it works. And it's very fun. And I won't sit and talk about that too much here while I'm editing, just because that's what the video's for. We'll see if I've got this set to try and share the audio from DaVinci, so you might end up hearing a lot of the video if you watch the stream anyway. Let's see if it works. Have you ever wanted to play one of the it's coming through. Ooh, it's coming through kind of loud. Drop that down. I'm going to drop that down a bit. I'm also going to... So here's a fun thing. I'm not hearing it. You're hearing it through the stream, but I'm not. So another fun bit of troubleshooting with DaVinci. If for some reason, I have so many audio inputs because I work with audio a lot. If you're not getting it, you can go up to the DaVinci Resolve here, go to Preferences, and oh, it's not going to show this, is it? Can I make it show this little window too? Because this is kind of important. I did say I would try and teach people stuff, so I want to be good about that. Let's do window capture, whatever. Select a window. Can I find preferences? There we go. There, look. I'll put it right where it's kind of at on my screen. Actually, you know what? I'll just make it bigger. Screw it. All right, so you got window preferences here. We're going to go to video and audio, and we can see it's got an input. If I want to record direct to DaVinci, I can. I don't a lot of the time, but it's a good way to do voiceover if you need. Output, it's trying to go to one of my... You'll get a look at... Here's my list of output devices. Like I said, I work with audio. I want it to go to the headphones that I'm wearing, the big cans I've got, so I switch it over to that. So now I should be able to hear that when I play this back.
Have you ever wanted to play one of the Monster Hunter games?
Oh, that audio sounds worse than I remembered. Is this? You know, maybe I saved the wrong audio file. I'm gonna go back to before that, and I'm gonna hit M to mute some tracks and listen to each one.
Have you ever wanted to play one of the Monster Hunter games, but you don't want to actually hunt the monster?
Wow. I hate that so much. What happened? Greppahu, hello. I don't know if I pronounced your name right. Just Grep? I don't know. Yeah, the editor struggle is so real. And why does my audio sound like that? Like, genuinely, the audio you're hearing from me right now, this was recorded on the same mic. You can see the mic in the video. Oh no, this is still in the way. Klaus, get rid of the stupid window capture. Doi. It's the same mic that's in this video. Why does it sound so bad?
Have you ever wanted to play one of the Monster Hunter games?
Let's do... Okay. Well, first off, we're still gonna... Oh, nope. See, I did... Okay. Well, all the tracks sound the same, so we're gonna have that problem with all of them. Boy, oh boy. Let's unlink these again. All right, we're just gonna... Those... Link each of the things back up.
Hunter games, but from the perspective in this game, you are going to be...
That's so strange that the audio is doing that, but I wonder... Is it trying to do it as... Is it trying to, like, play it back in, like, stereo and doubling it somehow? It doesn't make much sense to me. Let's see. I'm at a loss. I'm at a loss. Change the track type to mono. Does that help?
You don't want to actually hunt the monster. You just...
Okay, one sec. I'm going to listen to it on here. What does it sound like here? No, give me... What is happening? Oh, no. Oh, no. Wait, one sec. Okay. What? Audio preferences. Beep, bop, 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 boop. Mic. DaVinci. Oh, God. It's blending all the tracks. What happened? Okay. All right. I don't know that it used the webcam mic. It may have also used... It may have also used my camera mic for it. And that's just a real bad situation. Oofda boofda. Okay, it sounds like track 2 is the best one when I'm listening to some of that stuff. So, all right, let's Control Z a bunch again and see if perhaps whittling it down to track...
Maybe there are some handholds that we could utilize?
Okay. It sounds better. I tell ya, microphones, audio issues, double, triple check everything that you're recording. Okay. Well, we've got that. By the way, it's just holding Alt and mouse scroll wheel to zoom in and out really quick on the timeline, but you can also use this little there if you want to. I like, especially when I've got a main audio track, to stretch it a little bit bigger just so I can see the waveforms a little better. Yeah, we've got a little soft background sound, but that ain't bad. You can kind of see a little girth to that noise floor, but it's not bad. And I'll probably put a little background music, so it'll completely drown that out. So, two main hotkeys to keep in mind here, if you're using them, are A and B. A brings me this little selection mode, which is the main, like, I want to drag stuff, I want to move it around. B brings me to blade mode. What do I want blade mode for? Hiya! Split a clip into two sections and get rid of the whole part here that I don't need. And that I can delete just to get rid of. And oftentimes it's good to like zoom in, because in this day and age, God forbid there's any build up to...
Have you ever wanted to play one of the Monster Hunter games?
Yeah. Boy, that... like, I feel like my mic, as I'm talking here, sounds better than this. I know it doesn't sound amazing, because I am just using a boom mic that's 2 feet away from me, 1.5 feet. It's not much further in that video, though, and I feel like it sounds worse. I've tested this before, and it sounded better. I don't know. Life is pain. Editing is a bigger pain. So yeah, a big thing that I like to do initially. So I'm going to gradually be going through all of this. There's a lot of parts where this is just an off-the-cuff video, which is my way of saying that there is, there's no script. I did not script this at all, just because I don't have time for every little game like this that I talk about, and if I did script it, this video wouldn't have come out for a lot longer. That being said, that means that there are plenty of times where I'm saying stuff that's redundant, or I'm goofing up on how I'm wording stuff and having to do it again, and so went to this. Ooh, I do remember here. Yeah, I did. So I like to occasionally just make ways that I'll be able to tell in a video where I want to put a cut, because I remember this whole intro I didn't like. Whatever I was saying here felt wrong, and I rethought it. Thinking. It's like, okay, Klaus, cut it right here. The video's going to start now. So we can probably just get rid of all that beginning stuff. Put in the blade. And
it's interesting in Titterpigs when you bring up the idea of combat.
Sure. Why not? And we'll just hit delete on that to ripple delete. And the next thing I'll do is just kind of go through and remove a lot of these big silences that I'm not going to need. And you don't have to do it this way. You could just... There have been times where I've just sit and watch through the video and I'll cut and edit as I go. And there are other times where I'm like, I just want all the fluff out of the way, and that way I can focus on, like, the actual... but sometimes there are going to be looks. I do some looks in this. Some zoom-in looks. You know what? We'll go piece by piece. Just watching this. So, while folks are here watching... What's everyone been playing lately? Anyone got any good game systems they've been checking out? I've been watching a lot, or I have been reading up on Legend in the Mist, and I am really excited to try it out. Here, you know what? We're going to go into Fairlight. So, going from editing mode to Fairlight, which is focusing on audio. Our audio track 1 is going to be I'm going to just label it VO. And I'm going to turn on the voice isolation there. So that should just help. It's their basic settings to make sure the voice balance is better. You can go in and kind of do stuff yourself if you want.
It's interesting in Titterpigs when you bring up the idea of combat, and is it necessary to have fun?
It's not really doing much.
to have fun. Because you've got plenty of games.
Stark has gone to Gen Con the past weekend. Love to hear about that. I have not been to Gen Con since 2007, I remembered. And Grip saying, absolutely love Legend in the Mist. City of Mist is my favorite traditional Titterpig by far. Yeah, City of Mist is great. I do think I like Legend. Well, I don't know if I like Legend in the Mist more. It's such a different experience despite being the same kind of the same system, basically. But they, one's mystery, superhero-ish concept characters in a strange world. The other one's, kind of a rustic fantasy. It's such a strange mix. I guess, I don't know if there's anything. I'm going to make that bigger just to kind of look. Yeah, we won't get wild into this. I don't know. The audio is just going to be a butt. Back into edit mode. We've got someone. I played Demon Hunters, a Fate Accelerated Cortex Prime hack. Ooh, Fate Accelerated and Cortex Prime. Game worked well mechanically with some potential issues. Jam did not impress me, so it was kind of a poor experience. That's unfortunate. Especially, sometimes I wonder, I've thought about, trying to sign up at conventions to run games, but part of me also feels like, man, I think I would stress myself out and not do a great job. GMing under pressure sucks.
It's interesting in Titterpigs when you bring up the idea of combat and is it necessary to have fun? Because you've got plenty of games where combat seems pretty central. Games like, D&D, Pathfinder,
All right, so obviously a weird cut there, but I am going to do something with that. I like to have little zoom-ins, and there's a few ways that you can do stuff. Been reading Undying, PPTP about Vampire World the Darks, but it changes the pub to framework to not use dice at all. It's super well made to focus on character struggles. Wait, Undying, one sec. I'm looking here. Oh yeah, no. I haven't played it yet or read through all of it, but let's see. Can we find a part where I move aside enough? Okay, fun little fact about right there on the bookshelf where my mouse is pointing right now. That's Undying. It's one of the books on my little on my little studio backdrop. So I do have Undying. I haven't jumped into it, but awesome. Most billed as a comedy game, and the GM's sense of humor was exclusively old movie references. Oh, comedy and Titterpigs is such a wild thing. Comedy's very subjective. So, especially, here's the thing. Okay. I thought about once offering on Start Playing to run a comedy game, and I shut that idea down because if you're doing comedy with other people in a group, you have to have rapport with those people. You have to know each other's sense of humor and kind of share some of that sense of humor. And if you don't, I don't think it works. Because if I do comedy in games with my friends, yeah, we're going to have fun and be laughing our butts off because, yeah, we know each other well. We bounce off each other well. We know each other's comedy. Doing it with other people, I think that's a rough situation. I don't think I would ever run a comedy-focused game with people I don't know. That's rough. Okay, let's see here.
D&D, Pathfinder.
Okay, so I want to do a little zoom in here as I goof up. I'm throwing in editing talk while we go. So there are two ways to kind of do these little zoom ins. One way, the way that a lot of folks start and how I started, it's like, okay, I screw up. Let's start when the eyes get a little goofy. So I could go in, I could cut it, make this its own section. And you'll notice up here, so this is, what do they call it? I don't remember names for stuff, but I think it's just the effects or whatever. But anyway, or the media something. Who knows? What is it called? Whatever. Very cool. All right, Chai, have a good one. Bye-bye. So I could cut this, make it its own little thing, and then edit stuff within the video. So if I go to the video part here, you can see that there are zoom controls. I can just click and drag this, and ooh, look at that. We zoom it, and then we go to like position. We want to drag it down a bit, adjust the y-axis. And there we go. Now we've got, you know, all right, cool. And so then I've done that. And since I've cut it apart, the things that I edited in there, if I click this, you'll see they're back to normal. And so you can do it that way. That's one option. I don't recommend that option because there's a better way. So instead of cutting this, we are going to go over to our little video effects rack here, and we are going to find an, give me the whole toolbox, adjustment clip. Adjustment clips are my favorite thing. So this is going to go on its own little track here, and we're going to size it to be about as big as this thing here. Anything that I do to this adjustment clip is going to apply to everything below it. So, and I can show you how this would be useful a little later, but there are more benefits to it as well. So if I click this adjustment clip, you see I've got the same options here, and I go, all right, let's do a little zoom in for comedy, adjust it so it's nicely centered. So now, without cutting or doing this clip, I've got plenty of... So the benefit of this is, A, if I wanted to make it zoom in sooner, I can just stretch it and it'll do it wherever I have it. Or even where I've got this cut, I could have it carry over and the cut stays zoomed in. I'm just Control-Zing to go back on that. I had a blast running a comic game with close friends one of these days. I used Electric Bastion Land for a corporate themed game. It was awesome. I need to get into the Bastion Land, Electric Bastion Land, and Mythic Bastion Land. Just amazing stuff. All right, here we go. So the other reason to do an adjustment layer is if I like this little zoom and I want, you know, it's easy to throw these in for just a little bit of punch and comedy. I can click this, drag it into my media pool, and now there's just this adjustment clip, and we can call it, you know, zoom. So now, next time I want to do a zoom, I can just drag it out, and boom.
Sometimes you...
Boom, I got another one. That's why we do adjustment layers. The other reason is, well, I'll get to it later, because I'm sure I'm going to have dragging clips, but like, if I like, sometimes I put graphics right here of like what game I'm talking about. If I have that graphic and the the graphics right here and the adjustment layers above that, it'll zoom in on both of them. Otherwise, if I just zoom in on this thing, but there's a graphic above it, the graphic doesn't move. You haven't adjusted the graphic, but adjustment layer, it adjusts it. Great times. You may even want to get specific enough to where you have like enough, like, oh, I'm just going to have adjustment layers on video track 4 or something like that, which I'm going to do now just because I like having that stuff, and I can make it real small and squeezed. So there we go. Now we're going to have adjustment layers there, and if we have other stuff in between, that should do it. I don't foresee myself having more than 3 layers of stuff on this screen for this video. It's pretty simple, so... All right, so yeah, we've got this.
Plenty of games out there where combat is plenty of.
Here, we're gonna cut out that little thing too. There is, so I have a whole hotkey thing that I use, and I have a bunch of preset hotkeys on. I recommend, if you're gonna get into DaVinci, going into, or no, not preferences, but going into keyboard customization and setting up hotkeys how you want. One that you can get is that it'll take a file and like cut it where it's at and move everything over so it fills in the gap automatically. That's nice. Another thing you can just do, if you don't want to like bring out the blade, cut it, delete that thing to make it, you know, I don't know why you wouldn't want to do that necessarily, but you can also just grab this side of that clip and drag it in and shuffle it around, whatever you want. Hi, Brother Goose. Is the audio from the editing software playing back twice and causing a slight echo? Like if your current mic is picking up the audio from your computer speaker and also your live stream software? No. It was an error in recording, so it doesn't sound...
Combat is a central mechanic.
It doesn't sound as good. I don't know exactly what happened with it, but it's not ideal, but it is the reality. And since I'm doing this stream, we're just going to go with it. I might take this afterward and try and clean up the audio with some more advanced audio editing, but we'll see if I'm able to salvage this. It's a pickle.
Plenty of games out there where combat is a central mechanic. And sometimes you bring up like, well, you don't have to have combat in Titter Pigs, and people are like, oh, what would you even do? How do you do without combat?
All right, another big gap for a breath. People hate gaps in videos. God forbid they're there. I mean, we don't need to cut immediately into audio, but we'll get kind of close. Clip it there. And delete to just automatically fill in the gap.
And then usually people bring up games that are much more socially focused, where combat really isn't a thing. Brindlewood Bay. Shit, what's the name of that one game?
Oh, I don't usually swear. I don't swear in this channel, even though I'm not a big fan of not swearing. I love swearing, but hey, that's life. Also played Divination, a diceless game using tarot cards and tokens for powers, where all the players control a single individual hero representing aspects found in the major arcana. Love that. I've been working on my own tarot-focused game, but it has taken a backseat to some other development.
Brindlewood Bay.
Fuck.
All right, I know there's a big gap there. We're just going to delete that.
I've got so many I could choose from.
This game that
Okay, we'll leave this in because I found this comedic. I have to find the name of this game now in a chat. I played one, and it's very fun. I don't remember the name of it. Oh my god, where is it? Oh, there's too much chat in this chat. I'm never going to be able to find it. If anyone can think, it's a game... Nope, I don't even know how to fully describe it. It's a game where you play, like, noble people and priests and weird stuff. God, what was it called? I'm going to see if my friend Joel is online. He's the one who... He's the one who knows all about it. No, he is not. All right. I won't bug him. Nope, I'll be scrolling forever. I'll never find this. Crap. Well, I might have to cut this joke out. God dang it. What is the name? Or was it in... Oh man, scrolling through chats. Oh, Most Trusted Advisors. There it is. Highly recommended, by the way. If you want a game with like pseudo-political intrigue and whatnot, great time. I'm going to grab an image of the book and we will put it up on this. I just need to make a folder for the assets for this video. Mappa Mundi video. We'll drag this into there. Perfect. And I'll just drag the picture for it here. So we go.
This game this game. Try it again from a clean slate.
There. Okay. I did a couple takes. There we go. Here we go. There we go. This game. You can use left and right to just slowly move the thing until it's about where I want. Yeah, it's where it can appear. So I will have just images be on the second layer. So I can just drag it from here. It'll, as long as that little snapping tool's there, it should snap into place. Obviously, I don't love how this looks right here. Couple ways to change this. So I can just click this and I can, if I zoom, since I'm selecting just the picture, it's just going to zoom the picture. And then I can reposition it with that, move it into place, get it just right. Oftentimes, a good thing to do. I could rotate it. Sometimes you want, you know, if everything's always at just a perfect straight angle, sometimes it looks weird. Anchor point. So, okay. Right now, the anchor point's at the dead center, and rotating it rotates it around that. Changing the anchor point, I could change like where it rotates and zooms and stuff. Let's say, however, there's an easier way, and that is in your timeline video, you go down here to the bottom, and you click this little thing. It's the transform tool. Kurviak, no, hi, welcome. No bills. Uh-oh. What did I just do? What did I just do? We got way out of wherever I was trying to go. Anyway, okay, yeah, now that I've hit transform, you can see whatever thing I'm clicking on the timeline, I get a nice little transform window, and I can, whoop, adjust it by hand, move it by hand, move, there's the anchor point. I want the anchor point to be down there. I can even grab this little rotato rod here and do some rotating. Or Control Z and not do that. Great way to just quickly get something lined up how you want. And then I always, you know, use the controls to get it lined up where you need. Oops, no. Yeah. No, okay. So it'll appear there, right there.
This game!
Another thing I'm going to do in this little video menu, a lot of little things you can add here. And, oh, I can't do, I could do some, now, you know what, let's add, we're going to go to our effects here. We're going to type in drop to hopefully find ourselves. There we go. Open FX, a drop shadow. It just makes things pop. Drop shadows are always good. You know, if I click so you can see that, now you got a little drop shadow. And if you want to see, if I'm clicked on it, I can even go into effects and alter the drop shadow. This is where turning this off helps so I can see better. And I can adjust the shadow's strength, how much, you know, blah, 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 distance, spread, whatever you want. I don't want to go too wild with it, but yeah, it makes it look like it's popped. It's actually floating there. So drop shadows, it's the graphic designer's easy toolkit.
This game that I can't remember the name of right.
Also, you probably notice a lot of times in my videos, I have things like pop in, drop in, all this kind of cool stuff. Here's another way. Here's a way you can do that. I'll show a few ways. There's just video transitions. Let me put X on that so they, show up here. So there's a lot of different video transitions. There's one called, I know what it's called. It's just called Fall and Bounce. So I can take these transitions and I can drag them in and I can attach them to a thing. You'll see that there's like, you can either have it like half on or all the way on. If it's transitioning from there being nothing there, have it all the way on. If you've got two things and you want the transition to be between the two, that's where you do the half and half. But here we'll kind of show. So I pop this right here, and now you can see it is showing the length of the fall and bounce. So if I do it right here,
This game that I
bump,
can't
bump,
remember.
bump, and it ends right there. If I wanted it to happen really fast, I could scrunch it up
This
and
game.
bum. Lily the kitty cat girl. Do the star. I'll never do a star wipe. I do a star wipe sometimes. They're fun. Fun in a cheesy way.
This
But yeah,
game
boom. Okay, so I have that bounce in, and
This game
bum,
that
bum,
I
bum,
can't.
bum. There we go. And so I like that. Easy way to add some movement. But yeah, like you can do a lot. There are some transitions that only work for like full screen video, or they work the best with it. Like if I get rid of this fall and bounce, oh, what's a good one that just doesn't work? Like circles or whatever. So you can see it's kind of weird to use circles because A, it's centering the screen and going all the way out, but as it moves through, yes, you can just scroll your little mouse wheel to see the transition in action most of the time, and you'll see it makes it appear behind that circle. And I could work and try and center it on that thing, but not what I'm after. And there are going to be some transitions that just don't work with individual objects. Like you can see this one, it's making it appear in the bottom corner. There are ways you can kind of get around that. It's nonsense. The other thing that you can do is if you want to do, like sometimes I enjoy when things just slide in from the side in goofy little ways. How I would do that with this is, okay,
This game.
I want it to pop, like, let's say I want it in right when I'm right here. So I'm going to stretch this out for a sec. I'm going to click this. And for positions, I'm going to create a keyframe. The keyframe is just letting this know now that the position is going to be changing. And at this point in time, right where it's at right now, I want it to be in this position. And then I want it to come off from the side. And so I'll be like, okay, at this point, I don't even want it to be on screen. And so I'll back up to like here, and I can drag it off until it's just off screen. And that creates a second keyframe. If I want, I can even look on the bottom of these things here. You can click this little keyframe tool, and it now shows, all right, I've got the transform keyframe selected right now, and it starts there and ends there. So when I click this, it's going to, this is where it's positioned, and everything before that will be at that same position. And now, every frame that we move, it is going to gradually change position until it gets to the second designated keyframe, and that is where it will stay for now. So now if I watch this,
This game.
all right, let's say I think, oh, that's coming in too fast. So I could just drag this,
This game.
and it's a little slower. Or maybe I want it to really pop out,
This game.
and boom. Funny, even the terms for the animation are the same as in CSS. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot. For a lot of computer programs use a lot of the same terms. So why is this doing that? 1 second. I hate when that does that. Anyway, so yeah, that's one way you can edit it. You can also just go up here and like click to go between keyframes. Another neat little trick about keyframes. So let's say I want it like this big. It's very, very static. Like you can watch as the position changes and it just click, 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 click there. Sometimes you want it to kind of ramp up and ramp down speed. So you can go to the keyframe and right click it, be like ease in, and then go to the next frame. And it's like, all right, and ease into this one. And now,
This game.
I don't know how well it shows up on the stream, but, and for something this quick, it might not necessarily look that big. Let's make it bigger.
This game that I can't.
And you can kind of see how it like
This game.
starts and ends a little bit slow. So
This game.
ease in kind of does that. Maybe I don't want ease in on, you know, the first one, or the ease out on the first one. Maybe I just want it to ease into place.
This
So
game
boom.
that I can't.
It doesn't make a difference at that speed, but it might for other stuff. Certain movements are going to be helped by that. And you can use keyframes for everything. You can use it for position. You can use keyframes to make things grow bigger or grow smaller. So I could, like, keyframe it right here for the zoom and then make it grow gradually bigger. Whoop. And now between those two keyframes, whoop, grows bigger. We're going to Control Z that because I don't need that. If you ever want to wipe out all the keyframes for a particular thing, like I don't want the zoom keyframe, I can just reset it. Oh, that resets everything. That was a bad idea. Oh well, whatever. I'll just boop, 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 boop. There.
This game that I can't remember the name of right now, but it's right there on screen, and it's great. You just play conniving people trying to scheme and, undercut each other.
I also get rid of the keyframes here. I got what I want.
And, undercut each other.
There we go. So I got that. I got where I wanted with that. Hit B to bring out our little blade tool again, and we're gonna cut it right there because I don't like when graphics just disappear, and I could have it slide out, but there's a big gap of no talking here anyway. So
but yeah, Wander Home.
Wander Home. There we go. So I talk about Wander Home. Switch back to A. Boop. Delete. Ripple. Delete that out. Oh no! What have I clicked? I hate that I did that.
Wander Home. Lovely example of just a nice pastoral Wander Home.
See? Multiple takes. This is why I don't improv too much. At least not in my videos. I do improv comedy better, but boy, when I want to talk about videos and talk coherently, I'm a real babbling fool. So I'll just check the... Ugh, my God. Check that transition.
Undercut each other. Wander Home. A lovely example of a game where you're probably really not going to do any combat. It's about, travel and adventures and meeting people. Maybe there's a little bit of fighting, but there's really not mechanics for it.
Do a little cut there, a little cut there to get rid of that big old silence.
For it. So if I told you that there was a game about collecting information about big, huge, crazy monsters and tracking them down, and I told you that that game didn't have any combat, you might give me a bit of a weird look.
Okay, just a straight cut there. No funny look, so we'll just cut that. Cut into here, even though this might not be
And I would
anything.
reply to that weird look by telling you about Mappamundi.
Good job looking immediately off camera at the monitor, Klaus.
Mappamundi.
Whatever.
And exploration and ecology.
All right, so just a little more cutting. Let's see. The last game I played was an in-dev game called Skies of Freedom. It's a Sky Pirate game with a D20 dice pool system. It was also really fun with a great table. Dice pools always help the math. I love dice pool system. I met people who don't. I don't get it, but hey, you do you. I've never done a D20 dice pool system, though. That's fascinating. I mean, I guess kind of... I've done ones that have like 2 dice and the dice are separate. Like it's not advantage, it's they're counted separately and potentially there are ways for more, but interesting.
Mappamundi, an exploration and ecology RPG.
All right, so I love this, but I want to zoom in on that and gonna have a little bit of a look there. It's fun. Yeah. Cut off before we start to look away for a good cut. Okay. So we're going to want that. It's eventually, we're going to come back in around there. We don't need this part. But this, I'm going to do some goofy, good fun. We're going to do a whole different adjustment clip. Actually, we're not even going to do an adjustment clip. This one, I think, justifies just messing with the actual clip. So we're going to... I don't think the zoom's going to change. Yeah. Okay, we'll start off centered on the Mappa Mundi. The words on that. And
an exploration and ecology RPG.
Okay, at one point we're going to want the camera to shift over to my face for the goofy look. So let's find out. Okay, I turn there. We're going to make it like a quick pan as I think I turn my head. So I start moving right there. Move the camera with it. Okay, so I'm going to keyframe the position there. And once I'm there, so I want it to end up on my big goofy bald head. And let's see what this looks like without easing. So we've got
ecology RPG.
Whoop. I might even want that a little quicker so it's there before that. So let's drag that in and what's it look like? Boop.
I believe Mappa.
That's pretty good. What would it look like with a little easing out and easing in? Does that change much? Whoop. It just feels a touch smoother. Might be in my head, but I feel it.
RPG. I believe Mappa
Mundi
describes itself as, what if you played Monster Hunter as the research team instead of the hunters? It is a game about finding these monsters and documenting and understanding their behavior in a world that is broken and fractured and has changed, and you as a people want to try and understand it.
Let's see. Boy, this mic quality really does just sound goofed. I might put in just a little disclaimer here, and that way we can show off text. Smoothing versus erratic enthusiasm? Yeah. Also, hi, Carol. Hello. Let's see. We're going to put in just a little text that's going to...
It's interesting in Titterpigs when you bring up the idea of...
some are just early on. Clear this, and let's just get some real basic text. We're going to pop it in here. We're going to click it. I love the Eris ones. I'm feeling a bold. Just going to go... Did I caps lock that? No, don't caps lock. Uncap lock. Wait, no, I turned off cap lock on my keyboard. I'm fine. All right, let's go. There. Just some dumb little text, but hey, sorry, folks. Text has a ton of options in here. If you're putting text on a video, for anyone who's here for any editing things, so you've got the settings to transform and move positions over here. I'm going to warn you against that, because take note, if I change this here, see how this box is up here? That also, like, text can't appear above that. So if I end up putting like a lot of text on screen, moving stuff around, it's going to cut it off. For the most part, oh my God, don't generally move this if you want. You can, zoom in stuff, but if you can adjust the text in here, I would do that. Adjust the size in here. That's actually adjusting the font, because let's say you had text that was like really, really small, and you're like, I need to see that better. And you like zoom it. Hey, look at that text quality. Real nice, huh? I know. Don't do that. But if you adjust the font, it's going to stay nice and smooth. So adjust size in here. Tracking is just space between letters, and line spacing is line spacing. Great stuff. We're actually going to just tighten that up a little bit because I'm going to put it at the bottom. Look, got position down here. I can see where the text is anchored. I can change the alignment. It's all right there. So we're going to just boop it down there. We could add like a little outside stroke where it's got like, ooh, you know, sexy little outside. You know, I might do it. I like having a little outline on the text. I think it's great. If you don't do outside only, then it'll fill it into the inside, which I hate. I don't know why outside only isn't the default, but there it is. Drop shadow, the moment that you offset it a bit, boom, it just appears. So, and you can adjust it however you want. But drop shadow, the graphic designer's cheat sheet to make things look better. There we go. So we've got that, and I will also now teach you, hey, do you want something to fade in and you don't want to like go to settings and do keyframes with like opacity and stuff like that? Hey, Grep, have fun going back to work. Thank you. I hope the final video should be out this week. I'm not going to finish it during this session, but hey. Anyway, if you want something to fade in and fade out and you don't want to be dinking around with opacity, see these that little white nub right there? Oh, if I do this, what's going to happen? Oh, the text just fades in. Want it to really take its time to fade in?
When you bring up the idea of combat.
Perfect. And then we'll have just a short little fade out.
Is it necessary to have fun?
There. And you can do that with video clips too. Have
plenty of games out there.
Fade in, fade out, whatever. Easy stuff. You can do it with audio if you want audio to slowly fade in or fade out. Also note with audio, you get that little thing so you can, oops. So you can like ramp it up so it comes up real fast. You know, whatever you want. We're not doing that obviously, but the power of the future. Hey, Blurty. First time you've seen DaVinci Resolve, it's so good. I was a Adobe Premiere person for a long time. Not anymore. DaVinci's free, though I do have the paid version because I have used it for more complex things. But the free version is dang near as robust. All right. Yeah, anyway, fade-ins and fade-outs. They're great. There are also like weird, crazy text things that can do just everything you could ever imagine, and it's great. I'm a Premiere Pro user. Don't throw tomatoes at me. I mean, I don't blame you. Premiere Pro used to be better. I hate Adobe so much as a company, and I was reluctant to switch over to DaVinci because it's like, oh, I use Adobe for work, mostly Adobe Audition for audio, but it's like, oh, I had the whole thing, and it gave me all the Adobe stuff. Since I've switched and learned DaVinci, I've never been happier. It's so much better. Adobe has lost their way, and I just can't stand them. But if you're comfortable with it and you don't want to take forever learning new crap, no shade.
And ecology RPG.
There we go.
I believe Mapamundi describes itself as, what if you played Monster Hunter as the research team instead of the hunters? It is a game about finding these monsters and documenting and understanding their behavior in a world that is broken and fractured and has changed, and you as a people want to try and understand it.
Yeah. Oh, Stark using Sony Vegas. I can't comment on that. I haven't used... The last time I used Sony Vegas... Oh, jeez. I mean, that would have to be 14 years ago or something. I can't go back to it. I like to do... I mean, maybe it's gotten a lot better over the years. I don't know. But I like DaVinci because I like having the options to do more complicated things if I want. Because you can get, like, there's Fusion, where you can have this whole map of things, like connecting different effects and making crazy cool stuff happen. It's delightful. Plus, if you get into more filmmaking stuff where you want to work with color balance and everything, DaVinci is, I would say, damn near the gold standard. So I've done work like that in the past where I needed to actually color balance things on some projects that I've worked on but can't discuss, I don't think. But DaVinci is my favorite kind of all-in-one because it's got a lot of what, like, Adobe Premiere can do, mixed with Adobe After Effects, mixed with a much better audio editor if you want it. I still kind of prefer doing my audio editing in Audition, but I've been doing audio editing in Audition for my work for so many years that I know that one so inside and out. Yeah. Oh, Stark, you don't even need a deal. DaVinci, like, genuinely, I think pretty much everything I've shown in here is in the free version of DaVinci. You don't need to pay for it. There are some benefits to getting the paid version of DaVinci that I have. Like, I think you get a number more effects, especially like in some of the Fairlight effects and stuff. I think some of these, not in the Fairlight effects. No, it's the like Resolve FX and stuff. But yeah, most stuff in DaVinci is totally free. I think I get access to newer versions sooner too and certain stuff, but yeah, otherwise, what am I doing? DaVinci is delicious and very worth just checking out.
And I totally get how you might be asking, how do you make a satisfying game that is about tracking down giant monsters, but combat isn't really an option? And I had those trepidations too. I kind of questioned it. To be totally frank, when these developers contacted me, I really wasn't sure what I was getting. Or no. To be perfectly frank, these developers contacted me, and I...
Okay, where was that?
To be totally frank, questioned it.
Okay, let's cut it off before the big old breath. And then it looks like...
To be perfectly frank.
Okay. I don't know if this is... I'm trying to remember when I recorded this a few days ago, where that's going to fall. I might...
Giant monsters, but combat isn't really an option. And I had those trepidations too. I kind of questioned it. To be perfectly frank, these developers contacted me, and I have received this for free, so please do your own research with reviews. Make sure it's something you're going to actually like. But I'm not expected to say anything. I don't have talking points I need to address. I'm allowed to say whatever I want. And so when I start praising this game, believe me, it is coming from a genuine place. But I do want to be clear, they sent this to me. And anyways, when they did contact me, I found myself going, I'm not sure how the mechanics of this game would actually support what they're claiming to do.
Yeah, it's just a pause and breath for thinking, so we'll just cut that out. Oh, no. What? Jesus. Okay, Klaus, let's refine where we were.
Sometimes I have seen games. I have in the past.
Okay.
I haven't.
Yeah. A lot of start and stop with me figuring things out, but hey, that's just the way of things.
I have in the past seen people trying to defend something like D&D and saying, you don't need combat at all for D&D to be interesting. And then they show me their D&D with just all of the guts ripped out, and it still just doesn't seem like it feels right, you know? I'm like, that's, I guess, but why? And Mappamundi has managed to do something that... And
Yeah, peek behind the scene of me figuring stuff out. I don't even know if this D&D thing fits, honestly.
What they're claiming to do. And Mapamundi has managed to actually really make that concept work for...
I don't even know if the whole D&D thing seems pointless. Sometimes I just get rambling about nonsense stuff. So I'm going to go in and cut out the word "and" right there and see how this flows without this real quick.
Would actually support what they're claiming to do. Mapamundi has managed to actually really make that concept work for me.
I don't know if I need to remove the word "and." Yeah, you know what, let's go back really quick. So that's also a fun thing to note. If I've split the same clip in two, so you can hover to one side and drag a clip shorter, and like you'll see it'll just cut off what's there. You can go to the other side and do the same thing, or if you get right between the two, you can move where the split takes place. You know what? The word "and," I think it does work there, so we'll just...
What they're claiming to do. And Mapamundi has managed to actually really make that concept work for me.
There we go. Look at that.
So honestly, I think the best way is just for me to kind of describe how this game progresses, and you decide for yourself if it sounds like something you might be interested in looking further into. You are all playing into.
Yeah. Why am I humming the wedding thing to myself? Know your audience, we like some rambling. Well, maybe I need to do more just uncut videos where I ramble about stuff. Who knows? You might like me rambling. I don't know if I don't. And you know what? Sometimes I gotta do stuff just for me. Sometimes I've got to appease myself first. So that's life.
Further into. You are all playing, what are they called?
I read over this book so much over the last week and then immediately forgot so many terms so quickly.
Of course I forget what the,
I will say this. Doing little improv videos like this, I really should be saving a lot of, like, behind-the-scenes bloopers and stuff, because there's a lot of me just...
We are playing... What is the term?
Yapping to myself. Sometimes I just leave in the video because it's funny. Honestly, I'll probably leave this in, or at least a chunk of this, just for, you know, comedy makes these videos more fun to watch, I hope.
You are all playing, what are they called?
Leave in that fucking Joaquin Phoenix Joker laugh. The hell, Klaus. We'll cut it mid-laugh, I think.
Chroniclers? Is it Chroniclers? I bet it's going to be Chronicler. Yep, it's Chronicler.
There. Yeah, I think that'll be a funny little cut, so... Not the Joker laugh. Yeah, right? I'm an entertaining rambler. I appreciate that. I don't know if I believe it fully, but, you know, who am I to argue with what other people enjoy? But here, we'll do... That's another fun thing for editing. Sometimes you've got... I don't always do it, but, like, these cut between clips, you end up with me, you know, just teleporting movement.
Further
like
into. You are all playing...
And it doesn't always look the best, and a lot of times I try and insert stuff to get rid of it, but in a video like this, I'm not as concerned about it looking as clean. And so sometimes a way to hide the cuts is by hiding them in zooms. So I go...
Chroniclers? Is it Chroniclers? I bet it's going to be Chronicler. Yep, it's Chronicler.
Okay. So now, instead of all that, now it's not too much rambling, but hey, preserve some of my just nonsense, so.
Further into. You are all playing, what are they called? Chroniclers? Is it Chroniclers? I bet it's going to be Chronicler. Yep, it's Chronicler. All of the players are going to be playing Chroniclers for the Mappamundi Institute, or whatever. Every major civilization points throughout this brotute, or whatever.
Okay. This went nowhere, so we'll cut right before the breath. Click it back in there. See how that works for flow.
Or whatever. Major civilization points throughout this broken world have this institute as they try and map out and refigure out this world of theirs that has changed in ways that they just don't understand anymore.
Cut that there, but as a viewer, I usually don't process those cuts, but hiding them can result in a more professional product. Yeah, no, it's funny too, because I don't think about those cuts when I'm watching other YouTubers and stuff necessarily, but I notice it in myself. But I do think if you can hide that stuff with fun little, like, just simple little zooms and tricks like that, I do think, even though people watching might not necessarily realize it, it does make something that I think flows a little better for them.
It's Chronicler. All of the players are going to be playing Chroniclers for the Mappamundi Institute, or whatever. Major civilization...
I don't need the or whatever, though.
Institute.
What happens if I cut that? How well does that flow, or does it sound off?
Institute. Major civilization points throughout this broken world have this institute as they try and map out and understand anymore. You as a chronicler will get to choose one of 4 different licenses that you have. You as a player, your class is more...
Wow, I love when... So I forgot what the 4 licenses were, so then I'm like, okay, look them up really quick, make sure you got them, and then immediately start saying that again and say it worse.
As a player, as a chronicler, let's go with that.
You know, the funny thing is, I bet it would just be all around less time consuming and better if I did script this out, because I have a teleprompter. I have a teleprompter that I could just be reading off of, and it would all be better. I don't know why I insist on making these videos completely unscripted. It doesn't have to be a fancy script. It would make life easier. So, okay, how does this work?
In ways that they just don't understand anymore. As a chronicler, you're going to get to start off by choosing one of 4 licenses. There's an arc.
Perfect. First, I say I should get a teleprompter. To be honest, they're nice. I mean, it's sometimes they can be. I don't know. They're not, even setting them up isn't too bad. I have mine, just kind of permanently set up now in my new studio space, so I really have just no excuse for not using it. Yeah, I bet here. Cam, are you going to want to work, or are you going to be? Hey, but not the right. I don't know why it does that weird square resolution. Okay, hi. Yeah, so to give you kind of a look, carefully move this here. Hi, here's my little studio space, soundproofing and stuff, but there, oh, you can't see because of the light. So I just have a teleprompter hooked up there and everything. It's got the camera all hooked up to it. Hey, here all you are. Here's the whole setup. Yeah, cool. Hey, this is actually working now. The webcam was not working before. It was glitching up real bad earlier on. Yeah, show my messy studio. Oh my god. Oh, it's already 3:21. God. Time flies when you're
streaming and not paying attention to anything else you're doing. I wonder, could I just copy this? And it's fun having a webcam.
I was goofing up on the main thing. Let me see. What if I go a baboop?
A baboop.
And I go
And
a
I go
baboo.
a baboo.
A little close.
A little close.
Get up.
Shrink
Tighten it up.
Tighten it up. Boop.
I go dancing around.
Go dancing around.
Have fun.
Have fun.
Cool. There we go.
There we go.
It's just a little Klaus
Just
right
a little
there.
Klaus right
so you
there.
know that it's
So
me.
you know that it's me. And
I'm not a artificial intelligence.
Artificial intelligence. Neat. Is it still?
Just switch.
Yeah, I can just switch.
Okay.
Don't.
If you weren't here for the beginning of the stream, you go back to it. The webcam was just like. I looked like Max Headroom. And if you're not old enough to get that reference, I'm not going to explain it to you. But it was wild.
Tee-hee-hee.
High-vist, which means you're about you write stuff down, information.
All right, I don't need to watch.
Protecting your team.
Yeah. So it's nice too. I've gotten very good at just editing based on looking at the audio and remembering what I did. A little echo. Oh, echo. God damn it! See, it keeps trying to take the audio from the webcam and incorporate it into the stream, and I hate that so much. I don't know why it always does it. Okay, but the echo should be gone. I hope. If it's not, please let me know. Echo's gone. Woohoo! We did it.
Whatever. And a guardian. You're kind of protecting your team.
All right. And look at that. We've been very slowly editing for a little over an hour, and look how far we are in the total process of everything. That's video editing. And this is like the easiest kind of video I edit. You should see the timelines for some of the more complex videos that I've done. They are a nightmare. I almost want, you know what? I don't know how much more editing I'll get done with this. Let's save this project. Let's see. Can we... How to play Blades. That's... Yeah. This... I think some of the video files are missing now, so it might not all be there, but... Yeah, I mean, okay, there we go. Yeah, I had to scroll down. Look. 12 video. Here we go. We'll just really scrunch it up. That. Look at all those tracks. Delicious. We got the little audio in the beginning. We got all this stuff broken up. Oh my God, what a nightmare mess this was of moving parts and pieces. You want that? You want to know why the how to play videos take a while? This is part of why, but only part. Oh, Novelaz, hello, good morning. Oh, from Japan. Well, hello and good morning to you. Gracious. Yeah, look at all these little moving parts for everything. It's just, it's chaos. All the different text. I mean, you can see this stuff, kind of, it's tiny, here we go. But just like all the different things appearing and moving and just like, good God. That's editing. That's, I mean, and this video is over 56 minutes long. Good grief. This took a while. Oh man, I'm having like nightmare flashbacks remembering this. Look at all the stuff in the media folder, and there are like folders within here too. Just all the different music and sounds. God, what a video that was. And having text that moved and grew and shuffled. Part of me's happy with this video, and part of me thinks, is it too complicated? Maybe. That must be a good Mario. It really does kind of look like it. Oh, God, just all these individual elements, all this stuff. Man, I don't miss... well, I kind of miss editing that. It's a weird thing to say, but I don't know. It was great. GM Burnout. Hey, there's a whole video that just... It wasn't even about GM Burnout. I was going to do a video on that, and then I changed it because what I recorded wasn't good. You'll all probably never see that. Anyway, back to this little video here for a little longer. I don't know how much longer I'll stream. I don't know what kind of plans I had.
But, you know, building stuff or whatever. And a guardian, you're kind of protecting your team.
I'm still so mad at the audio quality for this video. That boom mic is not far enough from me to sound like that, and it's in one of the better acoustic spots in my office. I don't know. Audio. It's stuff like that that makes me realize why there are so many YouTubers who fucking take their microphones and just hold it the whole time like this. I refuse to do that with my nice studio microphone. It does sound the best, but I don't know. I can't. I don't wanna. I suppose I could just take and hold my boom mic. Just like this. Hi everyone, it's me, Klaus. Ooh, don't I sound real nice and rich now? Ooh, getting up on that mic. Oh yeah. I don't know. Like, you think you buy a boom mic and you're like, I bought this because I would like it to not be on camera, and I'd like to have the freedom to move my hands. Because if you can't tell with me, I talk with my hands a lot. I was raised by Italians. That's what they say, you know, Italians talk with their hands. I don't know. I'm an expressive person. I cannot be stopped. Though my closest family was the Italian side, and boy, oh boy, yeah, thinking to a number of them, very, very expressive hand talkers, so maybe I did get it from my family.
Now, with those licenses, you're going to have 4 different stats: traversal, observation. Oh, I'm not going to remember all of them, am I? I did. Each of those licenses will have.
Okay.
Each of those.
We've had one goof up edit in here. We don't need to leave them all in, so we'll just cut that out. But anyone watching this stream, you know that I goofed up and didn't know what the abilities were. Not stats, they're called abilities, but whatever.
Protecting your team. Each of those licenses will have, each of those licenses...
And I goofed up again. See? You cut too soon, Klaus. You left in just another mistake. Delete it. There we go.
Each of those licenses will have an ability that they'll have a strength in and a weakness in, and there are 4. The abilities are traversal, observation, deduction, and exploration. Traversal.
Yeah, I said traversal. I didn't go back and fix it. That's not Klaus's real voice. I refuse to believe that. Which one is? Me and this... I'm on camera again now. I forget that the camera's working. The face cam. That me? That's me. That's what I sound like. It is fun. I mean, I have just my normal talking voice. I have kind of the more projected, but still improvised talking voice. But then there is me when I do, you know, scripted videos and stuff, and it is a different tone. You know, I have a radio voice when I do that kind of stuff. It's a good time. Good times.
Exploration.
All right.
Traversal.
Did I say, I mean, do I really, how bad does that come out?
Strength in and a weakness in, and there are 4. The abilities are traversal, observation, deduction, and exploration.
I guess I didn't say traversal too bad, whatever.
And each of those licenses will get to start with different skills.
Am I gonna talk? I think I end up cutting this out because it's not the best way to talk about it.
Skills in this game don't...
Yep. There's the look of a man realizing that he's not explaining stuff in the best order. The fancy mic one. Ah, yeah, no. It's Radio Klaus. What's up, Guerrilla Radio Klaus? But yeah, explaining stuff in the right order. That's a huge reason why I like scripted stuff, and also a big reason why the how to play videos take so long. Because I want to make sure, and I try really hard to present the information in the best way for people to like take it in and understand it. Because I think that's really important. And I think a number of titterpigs out there don't do that very well. No shade to them, you know, like when you spend who knows how long developing a game, you get lost in the weeds, you stop seeing the trees for the forest. You don't necessarily know the best order to explain stuff. But if I'm going to make a how to play video, I need to make sure it's in the right order, and I will sit and fret over that. And it's the biggest reason I sometimes have trouble doing these unscripted videos, is I constantly feel like I'm explaining stuff in the worst possible order. And it keeps me up at night. Drives me nuts. But what are you going to do? Scripted. Just script it, Klaus. But then if I script it, I'll take forever because I'll sit and I'll just fret over it and bite my nails on it.
In this game, don't...
Bleh.
The skills you get in this...
Am I even going to go...
The skills you get in this game basically just give of what you're capable of. Okay, let's see, I should just write this down, but I'm going to do it off the cuff.
Yep, see, there I am. I should write this down, but I'm...
So, for rolls in this game, you are going to be rolling against target numbers.
Okay, so yeah, I'm not going to talk about... I talk about skills later, so I know that I can just cut to here. Get rid of that whole big thing. So then we're going to go right from abilities to talking about rolls.
Exploration. So, for rolls in this...
You know, I'm just realizing, should I have... I probably should have zoomed all of this in a little bit. I'm looking at the different... I don't know. I guess is seeing the little crap on the side... Now it's bugging me. I mean, Klaus, do we... What are you going to do about it, buddy? You're going to just grab everything and change it? I don't think that's going to work. Presenting things in order is hard, and a lot of people will not learn in order even if you do order it well. It's true. But my goal is to present stuff in an order in a way that I think will benefit the most people possible. Not everyone learns the same, but my hope is the people, you know, the majority of people watching my video, if I can cater to as many of them as possible, then I'm happy. Not always going to work. Sometimes I'm going to fail, but, you know, live and learn. Grow and develop. God, now I'm looking at this.
Game, you are going to be rolling against target numbers, just rolling a... No.
Nope. I'd have to change so much stuff. I'd have to go back and re-edit all of those little things and the things where I have other stuff going on. No, we're just going to love the Zoom that we're in. And we're not going to be upset about it. It's going to be fine. Yeah. 336. For me, the longest editing is always the first time through. It's true. It takes a while. I think this is a video where if I wasn't streaming and trying to explain stuff, I could probably edit this in one big sitting. Probably. A lot of other videos, whew, it's a lot of sitting down, a lot of tweaking, a lot of like going over the same thing over and over and over again just to get like timing and positioning right. And even then going back the next day and being like, no, I don't like this. I thought I did, but now I hate it. Adding graphics is a pain. Sometimes I add them as I go, and it doesn't always work. You do a good job of it. The effort pays off. Thank you very much. I do appreciate that. Honestly, just comments like that, they sometimes fuel me and keep me going when I get frustrated with this stuff. I wish I could spend more time with it, is the thing, but I have obligations, a job, and all that. Blah.
And exploration. So for roles in
Seriously, thanks for the effort. Thank you. I appreciate it, and you're welcome.
this game, you are going to be rolling against target numbers, just rolling a... No. Each of those 4 abilities is going to have a size...
There we go. So many ways of trying to tackle explaining things. Just deleting it down. Like, this is in total, like, I've already cut out a decent chunk, but, like, you know, it's at 26. Probably when we started, we had, like, 30 minutes of recorded footage. And my ideal here is if the end product is closer to, like, 15 minutes. I think more than that just might be a little too rambly. And I may even still go back and cut some stuff out later. You never know. Okay, how does this flow?
And exploration. Each of those 4 abilities is going to have a size of die associated with it. The higher the die, the better you are at that particular ability. And when you want to accomplish stuff with those abilities, you're just rolling to hit or succeed a target number. Simple as that. Very, very basic. Next, your license.
Dice Thinker, mainly facts guy. Once upon a time, now it's nothing. I mean, I guess the channel's probably still there, but I don't know. You can just call me Klaus, or you can call me mainly facts guy if it makes you feel better. Part of me wants to do the, now that's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
Next, your license will give you access to certain skills. Now, an interesting thing about skills in this game is when you get a skill, it just gives you kind of a description of what that skill does narratively, but there's no description of mechanical effects. And that's because in this game, fully apply stuff. And finally, your license will give you interactions, and we'll get to those in a bit.
Okay, that's good. I know that whole section. There's no giant gaps in there. Because typically if I screw up, I will stop and leave a good gap. So while I'm editing, I can look and see, like, look at this blank space. I need to get that. Something happened there, so... But when there's just a big thing like that, I know that I'm probably pretty good. But I think we'll do...
those interactions, and we'll get to those...
Let's add the little zoom there, just as a form of smoothing the transition between this cut and whatever happens next.
62. Now, a typical session of... In a typical session of...
Yep, I knew I goofed that one up, so...
In a typical session... Now, they don't always have...
There we go. Yeah, come in with me going, ah, and just spitting out some words. All right, let's look at this transition.
Fractions, and we'll get to those in a bit. In a typical session of Mapamundi, you are going to play it in 3 phases, and those phases are research, journey, and encounter.
All right, we're going to have a cut there, but my thought when I was doing this was, of course, since I'm moving my hands, add in some text. Maybe this will probably be the last thing we do on this. You know what? I want to do... no, let's go into titles. Let's get rid of this. I love jitter. I've seen other people use this. You know what's weird when you make YouTube videos? Is sometimes when you see other creators using like the same font or the same music as you suddenly feel like, wait, that's mine. And suddenly you don't want to. And I've seen some other creators use a jitter font, except they never change the color. Because look at this. It's just white on white. Why would you leave it white on white when you can make it look so much better? Just burp derp. I love that's pretty good. Love to change that color, and then I know, yep, jitter edge. Let's go and edit that, and we're gonna make that, oh, a nice hot pink.
Session of Mapamundi, you are going to play it in 3 phases, and those phases are research.
All right. So it's going to end there, so we're going to have the text last that long. We're going to go research. Let's see how that looks, and then we'll size
research.
it. Okay. So let's shrink it up a bit. This is one of those ones where I do actually have to go into settings and move it from here, which I know I said before, don't do it if you don't have to, but sometimes with certain specialized text, you have to. You can't just do stuff. Do I have a favorite titterpig? Which day of the week is it? Because it's always changing. I would say if I have a favorite one, it's Deathmatch Island, probably. That really caters to my style of weird mystery and like shady organization and weirdness. Deathmatch Island is so much fun. I've run it a number of times for a number of groups, and I'm always ready to run more. Otherwise, I've got a bunch of others that are up there. I'm really enjoying Triangle Agency. I think it's amazing. I've just finished reading Legend in the Mist. I haven't even played it yet, but with my experience with City of Mist and how much I like what they did with Legend in the Mist may be a favorite. Grimwild is another favorite. I think it's one of the best high fantasy ones out there. But Legend might be... Is Legend going to edge it out? I don't know. Maybe. Yeah. Yeah, I'd say those are a few of my favorites. They're way up there. Oh, God, there's another... Got so many books here. Oh. I haven't done it in a while, but if you're looking for a superhero game, favorite one of those, Sentinel Comics. Here, we'll take a little... Here. Ha! Okay, sorry. I just seen that audio's out, so you couldn't hear any of that. Oh yeah, I didn't copy over the boom mic audio. There we go. Now you can hear me in this one. Wow, all of that was for a waste. Basically what I said was, Sentinel Comics is one of my favorite superhero titter pigs, even though I think Masks is great. Oh no, my headphones not found? Excuse me? The big headphones that I'm wearing? I disagree. Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember what other games I mentioned now, but yeah, I love too many titter pigs. It's always changing, it's always evolving. Yeah, we're probably done editing, so anyone who's here for editing stuff, I think my ability to focus on that is gone. Plus, I've got about an hour and 10 minutes to make dinner and get ready for a engagement with some friends. So I'll just BS. If anyone has questions or wants to talk about stuff for a few minutes, I'm here for a little bit. But I'll probably head off soon. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Deathmatch Island is just so much fun. I don't think I've ever run Deathmatch Island and not had people very shortly after playing it immediately be kind of hooked and wanting to play more. It's just a very good, very engaging game, and I love how players influence the mystery in it. Super great. Unintentional comedy, yeah. That's, it's a thing where Discord has a thing where it's like, oh, we'll always just try and have your main microphone and the audio mixer for you. You don't need to add that as a source unless you go into the settings and tell us not to do that. And of course, I went into the settings and said, don't do that. I never want you to do that. And then forget to add it into new sources. So who's the fool now? Me. Yeah, I don't know. But Legend in the Mist, I don't know. I've been obsessing about it since I read it. It's really, really good. Just cause, and I don't know. I like playing a lot of very modern and sci-fi setting titter pigs, but I'm also very keenly aware that fantasy is the default and preferred for so many people. A lot of people want to play a fantasy game, and they often turn to D&D, and I like having alternatives for that. And there are so many alternatives now. The last 2 years, they have released so many good fantasy titter pigs. So many great alternatives if you don't want to play D&D. And for me, I don't like D&D. I'm not big into Pathfinder, though I kind of like it more, because if I want to play a game with like strategic tactical combat, I just feel like Pathfinder does a little better job. But most of the time when I play a titter pig, I don't want tactical combat. So I don't typically veer towards either of those games. But the last couple of years, so many have been released. Nimble, if you still want tactical, but you want it like fast and smooth, fast and elegant, Nimble's great. I don't think it's my preferred. I don't see I even ran it for my like main home group over the last couple months, and we had fun role playing together, but I think we all kind of agreed like, yeah, it was fine, but it's not our go-to. Grimwild, I think, is amazing. It's very close in some regards to Blades in the Dark, but simplified in some of the best ways and with some of its own mechanics that I think are amazing. I love it, love it, love it so much. Daggerheart is a very solid game. I enjoy it. I'm not opposed to running or playing more Daggerheart. I mean, hell, I'm in their what do you call it? Like trailer video. was so very flattering and fun to see, and have people messaging me like, Klaus? I should be clear, I'm not associated with Darrington Press. They contacted me, asked if they could use the clip, compensated me, and put me in it. That was cool. But I would say even for my personal preferences, Daggerheart wouldn't be my go-to. And now we've got what's Matthew Colville's? Draw Steel. Draw Steel. I haven't read it yet, but I hear it's more tactical, and people have been comparing it to 4E, which I liked. I liked D&D 4E back in the day. It was fun. Probably not the game I'm going to personally gravitate towards, but I'm happy it's out. I'm happy it's there. Dragonbane is neat, but it's not any. I don't know. It didn't capture me a ton. I think it's good, but it's not my kind of game. Yeah, but honestly, for me, the top two fantasy titterpigs that I think I will gravitate toward and want to run is going to be between Grimwild and Legend in the Mist. I think both are very narrative and very cool in pretty different ways, and I appreciate that about them quite a bit. But I think Legend in the Mist might end up being kind of a big thing in the same way that City of Mist was. And the thing is, City of Mist became a fairly big thing in its own right. It was still it's not as big as D&D or whatever, but City of Mist was, it shook things up. A lot of people talked about it. It was very present. And it's also a very strange kind of niche topic or genre or whatever you want to say. It's a bizarre game, and I love it for that. But it's not the kind of setting that necessarily has the mass appeal of high fantasy. And so now Legend of Mist is taking a lot of the stuff that was so cool and appealing about City of Mist and giving it that broad appeal of high fantasy. And the physical books aren't out yet. They're supposed to be out end of the year, I think, or early next year. I hope sooner rather than later. But the digital's out now. I went and grabbed it, and it's so good. How to Play Deep Cuts, the Blades in the Dark modular update supplement. I haven't even read it yet. I love Blades in the Dark, and I've played a lot of it. But from what I've heard, I'm certain I would love Deep Cuts a lot. I need to get into it and give it some time. But boy, oh boy, I'm just... I was talking with friends the other day about books, and I was like, man, I just don't read that many books. Until I stopped and thought, and I'm like, except that I kind of read a book every week because I'm always reading a new titterpig. And in the last 2 weeks, I've read 3 different titterpigs. So I do a lot of reading, and I read a lot for my job. So I read books, just not novels, I guess. I listen to novels. I get audiobooks, so... And that's reading. That counts. Thoughts on Shadow of the Demon Lord, Weird Wizard for the D&D-ish tactical space. I can't even remember. I think I own Shadow of the Demon Lord from a Humble Bundle or Bundle of Holding thing, and I haven't read it yet. So I couldn't tell you a thing about it. I had someone I knew that tried to tell me a little bit about it, and I feel like I remember thinking it sounded neat, but I couldn't speak to it more. I have not dug into that. I do kind of remember, that's the book where on the front is some big ogre thing or something, right? Or am I thinking of a different game? I'm gonna look it up. Shadow of the Demon Lord. Nope, yep, that's the one I'm thinking of, yeah. Big old ogre or something on the front cover of at least one of the books. I don't know if it's an ogre. I don't know what it is. Yeah, it's got a big, square maul. Yeah. Yeah, I remember bringing it up to a friend. Sounded neat, but I don't remember a thing about it. All I remember is them bringing it up and me asking something about, yeah, it's got the big ogre with the big mace and stuff, right? Yeah. So yeah, no huge opinions. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know. I think that might be it for this stream. Maybe I'll do more in the future. It's not a bad way to edit. Like, so part of me is like, hey, this is a fun way to edit because I get to chat with people while I'm doing stuff and explain things. That's neat. At the same time, being a person who struggles with ADHD and staying focused, I can also say I don't know that I accomplished as much as I might have liked to accomplish in 2 hours of editing. This is definitely not as much. So I don't know if it's best for productivity, but it sure was fun. Yeah. Anyway, I think I'm gonna go get dinner in the oven and stuff, and get ready to see some friends in an hour. And most of all, I think I'm gonna go pee because I've had to pee for the last 20 minutes, and hasn't improved. That situation has not gotten better with time. It's about 80% of what I can think about right now, hence the nonsensical rambling. But yeah, thanks for anyone who showed up. Even if you only hung out for a few minutes or whatever. Yeah, if you want to see more streams like this or something, let me know. Put it in the comments or something. I guess this will be up forever for people to go back and watch whenever they want. Lucky them. I'm sure it'll be a really coherent, good time. Otherwise, to all of you, I hope you have a wonderful day. Be kind and patient out there, and love your community. Do what you can for it. Bye-bye.